And that's why I look like, I get commented like, what nationality are you? But yeah, that's what I am. That's my nationality. Hi guys, welcome back to another vlog. So today's vlog, I'm actually getting ready. I'm gonna do some filming. That's why my filming setup's sort of happening in the background. So today I'm finally going to film my bag collection. I ordered my tea. I'm gonna start doing my makeup. And I was actually thinking, this is the Colourpop lip sugar scrub. I'll link it also down below in the description bar. But what I was thinking today, I'm gonna do 10 things you didn't know about me. So I have been asked before to do like Q&A sort of thing, but I think I'll just wait to do like a Q&A when I've got more subscribers. My Chanel primer. Alright, so let's see if I can actually multitask and tell you some stuff about me while I do my makeup. So the first thing I've got here is that, and I think I have told you if you watch my videos already, that I am gluten intolerant, but for anyone that's new to the channel or doesn't always watch my vlogs and perhaps decided to watch this one, I am gluten intolerant, unfortunately. I also have like, it's like I have irritable bowel, but my trigger is gluten and fatty, oily, really oily food. So like when I buy hamburger patties, even if they're gluten-free, I have to really buy like the super duper deluxe sort of hamburger patties. And even then, sometimes I still triggers my IBS a little bit. I've been like that since I was 18 years old. Unfortunately, it kind of just, the funny thing is that it triggered when, I think, I was 18 years old, and it triggered when I left McDonald's. I used to, well, this is onto my second thing actually. This is now my second thing you probably didn't know about me. So I used to work at McDonald's. Is this gonna match me? Yeah, I think so. I used to work at McDonald's, and when I left work there at the age of 18, obviously to pursue like a corporate career, I was gonna stay at McDonald's my whole life. That's when my IBS and gluten intolerance kind of got triggered, my allergy got triggered. So it was like once I stopped eating McDonald's, it all just came out. I started work when I was 14 and 9 months. Yes, darling? I love you too. So I started work when I was 14 and 9 months because I wanted to work to get money. I already liked luxury and fashion at that point. I already had like a desire to buy Louis Vuitton. It was my part-time job while I was still getting an education. When I turned 17, they made me a trainee manager and they put me on a management course, like a retail supervision certificate. So I did that with McDonald's while I was still at school. And then after I turned 18, I pursued a corporate career. So I wanted to go work in an office. It was a food wholesale company and they were fairly decent sized company. They were medium sized. And I was working in their sales department. So that involved obviously taking calls, consumer calls, customer calls for our customers, like that sort of thing. So that's where I started off with my corporate career. I started there at age 18, and then I kind of just, you know, climbed the ladder since there and worked at various different companies. Like I pretty much hopped around every year until I settled when I got a government job in 2011. And that's where I stayed up until I gave birth to my daughter. And at that point I took a redundancy because they were offering voluntary redundancy. And I figured, well, I'm going to be on maternity leave. I've been working at this company now for I've been working at the government now for 6 years. So I was going to get half my long service leave paid out as well. So it was going to be a good redundancy payout anyway. And I thought, bugger, I'm just going to take it. On to my third thing. So I do have 3 tertiary qualifications, college qualifications. I have 3 of them, all of which I done while I was working. I never took a break. Like some people take, like, I don't know, they take a break from work and they do a gap year and they stop studying. Some people don't even work while they're studying, or they only work part-time. I was working full-time pretty much since the age of 17, because I finished school when I was 17. So I was working full-time since then, and I studied 3 college qualifications, 3 college certificates. So yeah, and I stayed working full time. And my first office job, the one I was talking about that I got first, I used to have to drive 3 hours a day just to get there. I never went to actual college. Like, I went to college, but I never went to the actual physical college. I did it all by correspondence because I didn't have time to actually go to college if I was working full time. So I had to manage it. I had to manage it myself. I had to get, if I was stuck, I had to contact my teachers, my college teachers, to get help, which wasn't really often, but they were really good. They were really supportive. Oh yeah, so my qualifications are business administration, information, digital media and technology. So that's IT essentially. So I did, that helped with my media and communications website management role in the government, and the retail supervision certificate that I got when I worked at McDonald's. So I didn't need that because obviously I wasn't going to pursue a retail career, but you know. I have another one. I have like a short course training in human resources as well, but it's not a college certificate. It's just a short course training. It's still accredited training. And then I've got multiple other software trainings like Primavera, like Squiz. I've got heaps of like software course training. I've got lots, like, and I've got like occupation health and safety, some rail safety management, transport management. I've got heaps of other things as well, but not like, they're not like college qualifications. They're like kind of short course in-house training that might take a week to complete, that kind of thing. So, and they're more job specific, like you kind of get them, you kind of do them more specific to the job role. Truth be told, if I can be totally completely honest, I actually never finished high school. I left. So this kind of can be like this isn't something I was planning to say. So this will mean that I'm going to be telling you more than 10 things about me. When I count back, it's probably going to be about 13. This is the powder I'm using to set under my eyes. I like a highlighted look under my eyes, so it kind of comes up brighter. I technically didn't finish high school. I left at the first term of the final year of school, which is quite sad because, you know, it would have been nice to have at least finished it, but I wasn't in a good mental state. I was getting bullied at school, unfortunately, which is something I worry about for my daughter, because I feel like people are even more sinister in the way that they bully now because they do it online. So I was bullied in school, and the thing is that with me, because I'm quite a confident person, I was pretty much getting angry where I wanted to fight these people that were bullying me. Like, I wanted to retaliate, and I felt like I couldn't suppress that anger, and the best thing for me was to leave school. And my parents could see that it was really bothering me. I decided after speaking with my parents that the best thing for me would be to just pursue working at McDonald's, becoming a manager. So they were going to offer me training anyway, like a certificate, the retail supervision certificate with college, progressed me up. I could have become a store manager, but that wasn't my goal. I just wanted to have that. I wanted to have a job that was good pay. McDonald's actually was really good pay, and they provided good training and a good stepping stone in order to go into a corporate environment and work in sales, because I knew I wanted to go and work in sales anyway, because my father and my brother had both worked in sales and marketing. So it was actually still a really good stepping stone working at McDonald's and then going into that corporate kind of career, because that's where I wanted to sort of go. It only changed directions later when I ended up working in the government, which is not sales and marketing sort of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I left school in the first term of year 12, and it's a real shame because I was actually always the top of my class. I was always at the top. If I wasn't at the top, I was in the top 3 for every single subject. I was quite academic, I was quite intelligent, naturally gifted. I really didn't have to study to actually do so well in school. It was quite a natural thing. So it was a shame that I left under those sort of circumstances, because I felt like I was essentially bullied out of the school because I wasn't able to kind of cope with it. And it's looking back, it's like if I were to go through that again, I would have handled it totally differently. But these are the sorts of things that we don't learn until we're much older, and we don't learn about how to cope with that kind of confrontational sort of, you know, behavior, like the bullying and that sort of thing. We don't learn how to cope with that until we get much older, and that's why our children, you know, our teenagers these days, our kids struggle with bullying because they don't have the skills, you know. And from my mother and father's generation, bullying was more like a schoolyard sort of thing where it wasn't so, like snarly, you know, like it was more like to your face, you know, they would come up to your face and you might have a fight, but then everyone would get over it. There wasn't so vindictive and whispers behind your back, spreading of rumors, and that real kind of stuff that gets to you emotionally. That's more like what bullying became when in my generation, and then it has become worse even there. It's escalated from there. So from my parents' generation, they couldn't really sort of give me the advice that I needed. I hope that given what I sort of went through as a teenager and as a teenager, that I can actually help my daughter if she ever has to face this sort of turmoil, which I pray that she doesn't. But you know, no regrets anyway, because yeah, maybe it would have been nice to have finished school. However, it has caused absolutely no detriment whatsoever to my my career. As you see, I have 3 college qualifications, ended up with a 3-figure salary. So, you know, I've had no issues. It had no issues. It had no effect. But it's just not pleasant that that was the situation that I've had to face and was put into. This is a Chanel bronzer. It's actually like a Le Beige's Healthy Glow powder, and it's just like the darker shade that I use as a bronzer. So I think I'm now up to, I don't know how many points, what point I'm up to, but I'm just going to run down the list of things that I've also put. I remember once someone commented on my Instagram, it looks a bit weird that I have a Mitsubishi, but yet I have luxury handbags. Like, shouldn't you have like a luxury car if you have like luxury handbags? Well, my answer to that is, well, this is more like the things you may not know about me. I drive a Mitsubishi. It's a 2016 model, because we tend to change our cars once the warranty runs out, so every 5 years. And we only need 1 car, but we're looking at now getting 2 because my daughter will start preschool next year, so we'll be buying another car. But yeah, I choose not to own luxury cars because the cars are the worst. They are the best investment when it comes to use, but spending too much on them is the worst investment. And cars, you have to really appreciate them and love them in order to spend that kind of money. Just like with handbags, you have to really appreciate them and love them in order to spend that kind of money. It's the same kind of concept. And I don't really appreciate and love cars. I'm not a car. I can actually service my own car. I used to service my own car when I was younger, and I still could do it now, but that doesn't mean I love cars. That's just something that I learned growing up, how to service my own car. But I don't have a thing for cars. I have no passion, desire to own fancy dancy cars. I would much rather own another Hermes Birkin or Kelly than spend money on an expensive car. However, that being said, I am looking at buying perhaps a more, like, I don't know, actually, I'm looking at buying a Kia Stinger. So if you're familiar with the brand Kia, it's a Korean car company. I'm looking at buying a Stinger because it's like a sports car. It's a really nice sports car, but it's still at an affordable price point. It's super fast. Not that you can really drive fast in Sydney, and not that I would, but I don't know, just something different for a change, like a real nice sporty car rather than a family SUV. And then my husband will take the Mitsubishi SUV that we have. I'm also going to try and link all my brushes down below as well. So I'm putting them aside here so I know what I've used, because I use Japanese brushes, and the reason that I use Japanese brushes is because they're the most gentle on your skin. They don't pick up too much pigment, so they're pretty much foolproof in using them. You can't kind of stuff up your makeup. They make the product blend easily, and they also don't tug at your skin. So they don't, if you're doing makeup, it's actually important not to tug at your skin because you can cause wrinkles. So I'm going to use this eyeshadow palette. This is Anastasia Soft Glam. So yeah, like with handbags, if you pay a premium, say you pay a premium of around about, I think the Constance 18 is a perfect example of my blue electric one. I'm probably going to lose about $2,000 to $3,000 on that bag, unfortunately. However, cars, you lose like half the amount of them. Like, I would still lose I could probably actually, if I kept that Constance 18, I probably would lose less, because as price increases happen with Hermes, say I kept it over another 5 years, I may not even lose $2,000 to $3,000, okay? However, if I kept it over another 5 years and I started using it and I was getting my cost per wear out of it, that $2,000 to $3,000 wouldn't seem so bad in losing, because you've been using it for the past 5 years. You use a car for 5 years, you pretty much lose half the price of it. At least, pretty much, you know, like our car is worth like $35,000 brand new. We'd probably be lucky, and it's not even 5 years old yet, we'd probably be lucky to get, you know, $17,000 on a trade-in. We'll be lucky to get that, or $17,000 market. I think that's actually the market value, $16,000 on our model of car. So they do not hold their value, and that is one of the big reasons why I do not like to buy expensive luxury cars, because even the more expensive you go in the car, the more money you can even lose, unless it's like a really rare, hard to sort of get car, kind of like how it is hard to get like Birkin. So on to my next one. I think I'm up to, I have no idea what I'm up to, maybe number 6 in my points. So the other point, the other thing that I have that you may not know about me is that my mother is Filipino and Spanish, and my father is Australian. He's English. His ancestors are from like England, Scotland, Ireland, that sort of thing. Yeah, so that's my nationality. I'm essentially Filipino, Spanish, Australia. The next one is I have one sibling. I have a brother and he's 5.5 years older than me. So we have quite a gap. We love each other, brother and sister. We're not really close because I think of that gap, but we also have our own lives. You know, we have our families, kids, that sort of thing. So that's totally cool, you know, but the love is there. We love each other. We were raised, you know, in a very loving home. So even though we might not talk a lot, but my brother's also very busy too. He does work. He's very high up in the corporate ladder at his company. That's also why we aren't close, because we don't really have the time to kind of catch up. We mostly, like, we would catch up as a family for like, we would do lunches and we would all just go to my mum and dad's house. That's kind of how we sort of catch up. The next point is that my husband and I plan to only have 2 kids. So once my son is born, which he may even be born by the time I upload this video, I think. Yeah, that's it, we're done. I don't want any more kids. I don't want any more kids after that. So just so you know, I've used this shade all over the lid. This shade is my transition shade, which is the one that went inside the crease area. And then I've just used this shade on the outer corner and a little bit into the crease. And then this shade, this dark one here, I've used that on the outer corner to deepen up the outer corner. And now I'm just kind of blending it. Dragging that from my outer corner to my under eye. The thing you may not know about me is that, yes, I'm a stay-at-home mum. I am a stay-at-home mum. However, I consider myself an entrepreneur because I do quite a lot of things to make some kind of income. It's kind of more hobby-based because there's so many things that I do. I manage part of a small business that my husband has. I manage that. I do the taxes and everything. I have my eBay store as well where I sell makeup, like products that you can't get in Australia. It's not like a big store or anything like that, you know. It's quite a small store, but it's still an eBay store nonetheless. I've got YouTube as well, obviously. That's my other little side hobby. And Instagram, my Facebook page. And then I also work as an affiliate for some companies that I really like, you know. So I only work with companies that actually like what they have. I don't need to have more junk in my house if I don't like it. It's just going to be junk. That's what I do for income, is multiple things. You know, managing the small business, doing eBay, a bit of YouTube, which is peanuts. It's very small, especially when you're only a small channel, but that's okay. I do it for fun anyway. It's a hobby thing. I love talking to people. I love interacting with people, and I love all the friends that I've made through social media as well. So I'm just going in with an eyeliner pencil. This is from Makeup Geek, and I can't talk while I'm doing this. I'm just going to remove that kind of powdery look that you get with makeup. I'm just going to use MAC Fix Plus. And then I go in with my highlighter after I've done that, so that way when I'm putting on the highlighter it's kind of grabbing to more of like a dewy sort of skin rather than like a powdery set skin. L'Oreal Brow Definer to do my brows. I don't bother to really fill in my brows because I feel like they're already thick enough as it is. I just like to use the brow definer to lighten up the brows a little bit. The next one is that when I did work in a corporate, like when I worked for government, I was actually a union delegate. So I worked for the union as well while I worked for the government. I'm not sure if you guys have unions in your country, but in Australia we have different unions. I worked for a union that represented like the government, more of like the corporate workers in the government, because you got different types of unions for the government as well. And then you've also got transport unions, construction workers union, and that sort of thing. I would stand up for employee rights. So I was a representative body for employee rights. I'd have to negotiate with managers. I'd have to sit down in like, you know, if there was issues with a manager, an employee had an issue with the manager and their workers' rights were being breached, or they felt that they were being breached, I'd have to sit in these meetings and have discussions with the managers. I also was a part of enterprise agreements, and these are the agreements that are that the government sets these enterprise agreements for their entity, and the unions have to work in negotiations and making sure that the workers' rights, that the workers are getting the best out of the enterprise agreement, but their business, like the company, is still getting what they require as well. So it's trying to find a healthy balance. So that's what my role was as well. I really enjoyed doing that because I love standing up for people and their workers' rights. I feel like it's very, very important. And another thing that I've already sort of said on my channel, and you probably already know, is this is the Jaclyn Hill highlighter palette, by the way. I love this palette. I have been buying luxury pretty much since as soon as I could work. So I think my first bag was actually the City Viva City MM. I put a picture up on the screen. I think that was my first actual Louis Vuitton bag. I did have a Pochette accessoire, but I don't know if you really consider that a bag, but that was like probably my first as well. So yeah, I've been buying luxury for a very, very, very long time. And that's probably why it's sort of, you know, come to the collection that I've come today. Just using, I'm gonna use these two actually. This highlight is very blinding. And the other thing that I've got here is that you may not know about me, is that I pack my husband's lunch every day. Well, every day he goes to work, I pack it the night before so he has a fresh lunch. That's what kind of wife I am. So he's very happy with that. He likes that he goes to work with lunch. He doesn't have to go and buy his lunch. He's got everything packed, fruit, snacks, sandwich, everything. So that's what I do. I've been doing that for quite some time actually. I didn't do it when I was working as well. I was like, well, I'm working too, I need to pack my own lunch as well. But since obviously I'm a stay-at-home mum, I make sure that he always has lunch, a packed lunch, always. I'm just gonna go in with this shade actually, because I've got more of like a rosy eye look, and I'm just gonna put that in the inner corners of my eyes and underneath the brow bone. Okay, I'm just gonna set everything with the touch of Dewy Skin Mist. I love this stuff. So I'm gonna cover my eye because I don't want it to get on my eyes because it's got kind of like an oily residue. So this isn't good for people with oily skin, I would say. Probably not a good idea to use that product. I mean, you could, but just use it maybe like squirt here, squirt there. Make sure you really cover your eyes. Don't get your T-zone where it can be oily. But for me, I have like normal dry skin anyway, so this should help to blend in that highlight, which is quite blinding.
Mama,
It's okay. Doesn't matter, it's alright. I'll get it. I'll get the spray. Just turned on my lights because I just want to get a good view of the highlight. I'm just going to tap over it with my beauty sponge to help blend it in, because I'm worried that when I film my video, because I have to, like I said, I'm about to film a video, that it's going to be too blinding. So this is the mascara I use. This is the MAC Upward Lash. I don't think they sell this anymore. I think they might have discontinued this, unfortunately.
It's me.
Yeah, it's you.
It's Oriana.
Yeah.
In the camera.
Yeah, in the camera. Finished my makeup and I'm going to end this vlog here. I'll just show you the last things I used because I had to do it off camera because my battery died. So I used the Gigaplay MAC Extended Lash Mascara on the lower lashes because I just find that it's easier. For my lips, I'm using this combination. So this is MAC Lip Liner and Etc. And this is Jeffree Star Cosmetics Liquid Lipstick in Mannequin. And then to set my face, I just use the Urban Decay Cooling and Hydrating Setting Spray. This bottle's looking pretty yucky because it's white. I've had it for quite some time. So that is the finished look. That's my makeup done. And the very last thing that I wanted to say, the final thing is that what you may not know about me is that I married an Italian Dutch Australian. So my husband is Italian Dutch Australian. I'm Filipino Spanish Australian, so we're a very interesting mix for our kids. My daughter looks probably more like him but actually at the same time she has a lot of my personality traits and a lot of my little like things that come from me. Like the curly hair is from me. I had curly hair when I was her age. I had curly hair up until the point I kept bleaching and dyeing my hair. Her nose is more like mine, her eyes are more like mine. It's just that her skin coloring looks more like my husband, and her hair coloring is more on my husband's side because I had very dark brown hair, or almost black, when I was her age. That's it. I hope this video is probably very long, unfortunately. I hope that you guys did tune in to watch all of it so you get to learn more about me. Let me know one interesting fact about yourself. So if you made it to the end of this video, let me know one interesting fact about yourself. Put it down in the comments below. If you aren't already subscribed, then I would love if you would hit that subscribe button below, and also the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. So I upload on a Wednesday and on a weekend, but at the moment I am uploading a little bit extra. So, but it may not be forever, but however, Wednesday and weekend is my schedule for uploading, and it's on American time, so Wednesday American rather than Wednesday Australian, just because it's a little bit easier for me. But yes, that is all. That is the end of this video, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!